and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I want to show you how I do my face makeup, how I apply my foundation, my highlighter, and my bronzer. Of course, I know that tons of you out there are pro and apply your makeup even better than me, but I wanted to do a video like this to dedicate to my friends who are just starting out, to show them how I put on my makeup, what makeup and brushes I use. So please, in case you find this video useful, don't forget to give me a thumbs up, and I hope you enjoy it. Before I start applying makeup, I wash my face very well and then apply my favorite moisturizer. And then I use Diorsnow's Essence of Light. This is a brightening, light activating, micro-infused lotion, but mainly I use this as a toner and also as like an extra step to moisturize my skin. As for the primer, a primer I really love and I've been using for 2 years now is from Capture Total, the Dream Skin. This is not really marketed to be a primer, it's skincare, it's anti-aging, but I really love it. I love using it underneath my makeup. Sometimes even if you don't want to wear any foundation, I just like this as an overall serum or cream to have all over my face. A foundation I really love is from Dior. This is the Backstage. Now, I know there are tons of other foundations out there, but when I like something, I kind of get stuck to it. And I've been stuck to this foundation. I just like the way it's so easy to apply. It dries matte, but at the same time, it doesn't make your skin look like it's not healthy or anything. So I really recommend this foundation, and I have the shade 2N. Now, this particular foundation can be applied with your fingers. However, I like using either a brush or a beauty blender. If you're just starting out, I highly recommend Real Techniques brushes. There are tons of brushes nowadays, but the ones that are affordable and yet really well made is from Real Techniques. You can get their starter kits, like they'll have a kit for the face, a kit for the eyes, and it contains all of the brushes that you will need. What I do is I place the foundation directly on my face, and because this particular foundation dries fast, I don't do all of my face, I do one cheek at a time. So I will put a little bit of foundation on one side and blend it with my brush, and then place more foundation on the rest of my face and blend it out. In this video, I also want to show you that you have the option of using a beauty blender. A lot of people are skeptical about using this, but as long as after every use you wash it, I find that it's so easy applying your foundation, even your concealer later on. And of course, it doesn't have to be the beauty blender brand. Real Techniques also has a sponge which is as good, but of course, in the whole game of sponges, the brand Beauty Blender is definitely the best. As for a concealer, lately I've been going back and forth between these two concealers, and both are from NARS. If I want to use the creamy one, I'll just use the applicator directly on my face. To apply the soft matte, I use this brush from Real Techniques. This is in fact an eyeshadow blending brush, but I love it for concealer. You will see a lot of makeup tutorials where they take the concealer and draw a triangle underneath their eyes. You really don't need to do that. Just place the concealer on the areas that you feel need brightening. And once all the concealer is where you want it to be, use the beauty blender or the brush and just blend it all out. Before setting my face with powder, what I do is on the areas, on the high points of my cheeks where I like putting highlighter, I go in with a liquid highlighter first. Now, it's optional. I'm going to give you some options. For example, there's the Dior, this is called the Flash Luminizer. It doesn't really highlight, it gives more of éclat, which is exactly the term they use here on the tube. Éclat as in like a light from within. I also love the glow stick from Marc Jacobs. The way I use this is I place a little bit on my fingers and apply it to the high points of my cheeks. But in today's video, I want to use something from Gosh, which is a brand I highly support. This is the Lumi Drops in shade 002 Vanilla. What I do is I put a little bit on the tips of my fingers and then apply it on the high points of my cheeks. The reason I like doing this is because it's gonna give me a tacky surface so that later on when I apply my highlighter, it will stick better and last longer. And as you will see, another benefit of using this is when you apply your bronzer, the light coming from the highlighter that you placed will help you know exactly where to put your bronzer. There are tons of either pressed or loose powder for the face, but one that I highly recommend is the universal powder from Chanel. Lately I've been informed that this has changed and some new formula has come out and people are not really happy with it. And of course, to apply your pressed powder you need a big fluffy brush. The one I love using is from Too Faced. It is big and fluffy enough for the whole face. Now that I have the base done, the next step would be for me to do my brows. I really love the Precisely My Brow pencil from Benefit. I'll use this to shape the, my brows like how I want them to be, just like outlining them. And then using any shadow for the brows, this particular one is from Dior, I will use another brush. The brush I use is from Anastasia. This is number 12. It is dual-ended. So I'll just use the brush and the powder in order to fill in all the areas that I feel need more volume. If you don't have a brow setting gel, it's okay. Just use your favorite hairspray on the brush and shape your brows out. There are a lot of bronzers that I like, but again, to keep this video easy and user-friendly, as they say, I use the Hoola Benefit bronzer. This is very friendly to beginners. It's really easy to blend, and I feel like the shade is kind of universal and it works great on almost everyone. For this, you'll need a more pointed brush. You can definitely use a blush brush as well, but a more pointed one will help you put in the bronzer more accurately. Now that you have placed the liquid highlighter, it's going to be very easy putting on your bronzer, because as you have some bronzer on your brush, just go below the point where you applied your highlighter. You want to place the bronzer in this area, and you don't want to really get it too close to your mouth. You want to just keep it, kind of more closer to your ears. And as I said, once the highlighter is placed, it will be really easy just to go beneath that point and place the bronzer. Once all the bronzer is where you want it to be, with the same brush, just in circular motions, try your best to blend that bronzer. A highlighter I have been loving, and I feel like not a lot of people talk about it, is also from Benefit. This is the Cookie highlighter. I like to use a smaller brush for the highlighter, something like this one. Even smaller would do the job, and apply it right on top of where I applied the liquid highlighter. Of course, this step is extra because once you have the liquid highlighter, you will have the glow. But if you are someone who loves an extra highlight and you like the effect it gives, then definitely go ahead and apply powder on top. So many times I skip on a blusher, but one of my favorite ones is from The Balm. This is like a very old blusher that I have. It's just my favorite. I just feel like no other blusher competes with, you know, the shade and tone of this blush. It's not really true that you just, you know, smile and whatever you see your cheeks placed. That's exactly how I used to do it a couple of years ago. But then I noticed it's just way better if I, you know, take the blusher and go all the way back. I'm not really trying to mix the highlighter and the bronzer together, but kind of as if you're trying to, you know, marry the two together. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please don't forget to give me a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. And I will see you next time. Bye.